Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I said this before, and I don't think it was some genius statement or conclusion. There is going to be a scramble for countries to have them join two groups. What we have in the Cold War, so-called, right now we're going to have something even worse. And there is NATO, which after 1991, after the Warsaw Pact was dissolved or dissolved itself, NATO remained in place. Remember, NATO was created against, we don't know exactly what. They say to keep peace in Europe, and that's why is the Atlantic Organization, right? So we have the Atlantic Organization, but it's not really Atlantic Organization because these guys want to spread all over the world. It was not North Atlantic an organization. North Atlantic, I will show you a map where North Atlantic is so you can figure out. Obviously you know, but I do it for, to be clear, to have things clear and no ambiguity. So what do we have here? NATO says that they should recruit new members from Asia. North Atlantic Treaty Organization is going to go to Asia. I will show you where Atlantic, but anyway. So as I was saying, these guys formed their alliance, against a threat. Supposedly, Soviet Union won. Not supposedly. There's documents where Soviet Union said, "Why if we join NATO?" That was before Stalin died. And NATO said, no, I don't think so. This is my organization with my guys. They're going to beat you up. All right, so then Soviet Union created its Warsaw Pact as a response to NATO, because obviously NATO was directed towards Soviet Union, not, to defend themselves from what? From whatever, which was fine. Now, after 1991, Soviet Union was no more. So if it was no more, it was Russia, it was Ukraine, it was all these countries that became, their own sovereign countries. So then NATO should have been, okay, we're done. But no. It turned into what it was actually meant to be. Not a defensive organization, but see how many wars NATO fought defensively. And I can give you a few clues. Yugoslavia, non-defensive. Iraq, non-defensive. Afghanistan, non-defensive. Libya, non-defensive. Syria, non-defensive. All these things were to fit one interest. One interest formed of many interests that control the United States of America. So now they said we should recruit new members from Asia. I just made a video a minute ago where Lavrov, after he visited China, he told the world something that I said many times before, and I was waiting for it: the creation of the alternative for NATO, which is going to be the second military, economic, political bloc on this planet. We like diversity, right? Yeah, okay, we don't like monopolies, right? Unless we have the monopoly. So let me show you this little article where we have, obviously, just a former NATO commander, because that's the way they do it. Mountain slope model, I told you many times, they start slowly. The decision was made, but they have to take care of the baboon's little nerve. Bzz, bzz, bzz. It has to be trained, it has to be conditioned, Pavlovian conditioning, where it is repetition with a, how do you call it, not stressor, variable, whatever, I can't remember the name right now. So, stimulant. So, stimulus here, stimulant, pop, reaction, stimulant, pack. NATO, good, we're going to expand. Yeah, because NATO is good. Easy. By repetition. The baboons have a very short attention span, so they need to be all these things repeated continuously, because there's new baboons who get into adulthood, and they have, I'm going to think for myself. Bang, repetition. So, they start with someone who has no authority. He's not a professor anywhere yet. He's just a guy who just supposedly throws the ball in the air, ready for these guys to smack it. And little by little, everybody, oh, that's a ball. Hey, and mass media tells the baboon, hey, that's a ball. And the baboon, that's the way it goes. Exactly. Why? I know. I was a baboon. What do you think? Anyway, so here we have it. NATO activates a former NATO commander who tells us something that we already know, which is NATO should recruit new members from Asia that share, and this is fucking funny and ridiculous for us, but not for the baboons, the alliance's vision of freedom. Now this is, when I read that, I had to tell you that I laughed. What's true is that's the alliance's vision. That's their vision now of freedom. What freedom? Do what I tell you, otherwise I will smack you. That's their freedom. And let's say there would have been, after the first expansion, NATO expansion eastward towards Russia, let's say Poland would have said, or whatever countries over there would have said in Eastern Europe or Central Europe, say, you know, we don't want to join NATO. Do you think everything would have been dropped? Have you thought about the alternative to these countries not being hijacked by the West, by Al Capone and the interest behind? Do you think that these countries in the West, the former socialist countries in the communist bloc, do you think they just decided now we're not going to be communist anymore? That's what the baboons were told. I definitely don't believe that, because I know more. All right, so let's say Russia collapsed or was collapsed by some interest in having their own people over there. Just collapsed. Decided, you know what? How about we are from the first, like a world power, we become, some pariah. Yeah, because it's good for us. We love freedom so much that we'll be starving for freedom. Really? Do you think that's what Soviet Union did? Do you think that's what, if I said Russia, my bad, I deserve a punch in the face? Maybe more than one. And yours too. So anyway, do you think, so how come these guys everyone wanted to go to NATO? Because they were afraid of what? Of the Russians? The Russians were in the cords, were done. Remember, you have Yeltsin. Why did they want to go? What if they said, no, we don't want to go. We don't want to go. We want to stay independent. Like, Yugoslavia, it was a non-aligned country. And everybody was trying to get Yugoslavia. And Tito stood strong, how much he could. So, again, alliance's vision of freedom. Remember, in the name of that freedom, NATO invaded and bombarded and destroyed a country called Iraq. In the name of freedom, bringing freedom and democracy. So, is that the vision? Is that the Pax Americana these guys are talking? But it's very interesting because this is from today, April 9th. And today, Lavrov made that statement that they form an alternative to NATO, China and Russia, and everybody is already ready to join. Watch that video. Here, you have some guys right here. These guys are the potential Australia, this is Korea, this is Japan, this is a secretary, and probably New Zealand, one of these guys, I'm assuming. What do we have here? South Korea, New Zealand, yeah, okay. NATO should bring in new members from Asia Pacific, says retired US Navy Admiral James Stavridis. I don't have good memories with you. You were drunk last time we met. And anyway, Stavridis suggested recruiting countries like Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea. They already made a decision, don't worry. A broader NATO is necessary, considering ongoing geopolitical crises like Russia-Ukraine war, Stavridis. No, it's because Russia and China are too big, and that's the scramble for members. So let me show you the North Atlantic, where that is. Here it is. This is a map of the world. Right. Now, this is the Atlantic Ocean, right? And this is the North Atlantic, right here. So the North Atlantic is between these guys, which is Canada, America, and Europe. This is what it meant. And now they want to extend. They have to change the name. I don't know, maybe they'll make it not North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Maybe they make it global, beautiful, perfect, fantastic countries of the world. And the rest are idiots, baboons. Maybe it is longer, but they can use it as an acronym like, I don't know, whatever. So here it is, my friends. These guys are talking about it. I think that will happen. It's in the process. The problem is, I don't know how many countries. Yeah, we're going to have, what, 5 countries over there, 4 countries? New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and South Korea. We already knew. Who else? and the rest goes to Russia and China. Maybe not the rest, but I would say the biggest chunk of the world's countries will go to Russia and China. Well, they already got Europe by the balls, but I'm talking about the NATO, the good people. And the bad people will get probably India, if it stays in between, Brazil, South Africa, as I said, on the structure of BRICS, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and what was that, Belt and Road Initiative. These are just the structures, these guys. You're going to see. So, well, diversity is good, we're told, and it's always good not to have monopoly. So NATO's monopoly is good that it's broken by the bad dudes. Therefore, we have only to win, because our government will give them an example how a good life is lived under their occupation, right? So they will show the bad guys, we're going to give these people a good life. Therefore, you all are going to be jealous, and you're going to overthrow your governments, and you're going to join us so we can make your lives better. Like we made the Iraqis, or maybe the Syrians. Oh, not bad. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.